Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to Soulful Saturdays with Saylor. Around here, we cut through the noise, ditch the fluff, and dive straight into what matters: spiritual wellness, radical self acceptance, and unapologetic soulful living. Each week, I'll bring you truth with a side of sass, reflections that wake you up, and reminders that you are glorious. So, whether you've got your journal, your coffee, or that wild, messy bun, you are exactly where you need to be. You are not blocked because nothing's coming to you. You are blocked because you don't know how to receive it. Yes, I said it. This is our episode on receive without resistance. So before you try to argue with me in your head, just stay with me for a few seconds. Because this isn't about calling you out, it's about calling you forward. Because I know you. You're the one who shows up, you're the one who gives, you're the one who figures it out, holds it together, makes it happen no matter what. And here's the part that we don't always talk about. Somewhere along the way, you got real comfortable being the giver and real uncomfortable being the receiver. Like when something good comes your way, you don't fully take it all in. You kind of half grab it and then push it away. And you do this at the same time. Somebody compliments you and you're like, oh, girl, stop. Or you say, oh, this old thing. Oh, it's nothing. Nothing. Now, you are out there canceling your own blessings before they even happen. You know, someone offers to help you. And instead of saying, yes, thank you jump in and go, oh, no, 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 I got it. Meanwhile, you're tired, stretched thin, and low key wishing somebody would just take something off your plate. And let me say this with some love and just a little bit of sass. You can't keep asking for more peace, more support, more joy, more abundance, and then shut the door every time it shows up in a form that you didn't expect. hmm Because receiving, it's not just about what's coming to you, it's about what you are allowing yourself to hold. And if you've been in survival mode for a long time, receiving can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. But unfamiliar doesn't mean unavailable. And uncomfortable doesn't mean wrong. It just means you're learning a new way. Yes, a new way. So instead of pushing it away, what if just for today, you start doing something good? Like maybe something good should stay. So, all right. So, let's gently call this thing out because it shows up in ways that are so subtle. You might not even realize that you're doing it because it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's quiet, it's sneaky, and very practiced. It sounds like, thank you, but that little but right there, that's where the block lives. Because you get a compliment, and instead of letting it land, you soften it, you shrink it, you even redirect it. For example, thanks, but I need to lose weight. Thanks, but I didn't even try. Thanks, but anyone could have done it. And I'm over here like, who taught you to talk to yourself out of being seen like this? Because let's be honest, if your friend came to you glowing, proud, showing something beautiful, you wouldn't tear it down. You'd hype her up and you would do it probably all day long. But when it comes to you, you dim it. And then there's this one, I'm fine. Yep, that one runs deep because I'm fine has saved you more times than you can count. It's your armor. It's your go-to. It's your knee-jerk reaction. It's the way you keep things moving without having to pause and actually feel what's going on. So let's get real for a second. How many times have you said, I'm fine, when what you really needed was support, a moment, a breath, a shoulder, someone to sit with you and say, hey, you don't have to carry this alone. And instead, you pick it all up and you just keep on going. Because receiving support, that requires you to be seen. And being seen can feel vulnerable. And then this one right here, when someone offers to help you, you almost instinctively say no. Not because you don't need it, but because somewhere deep down you're tied your worth to how much you can handle on your own. Like if you're not doing it all, holding it all, managing it all, then somehow you're not enough. And let me lovingly interrupt that story real quick. You don't earn your worth through exhaustion. You don't prove your value through struggle. And you definitely don't become more enough by doing everything alone. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let someone show up for you. And I know that that can feel uncomfortable because you're used to being the strong one, the reliable one, the one everyone leans on. And even you, yes, you get to be supported too. And that's the part that I really want you to hear. You get to be supported too. Every time you deflect, minimize, or shut something down, you're not just protecting yourself. You're also blocking the very thing that you've been asking for. Not on purpose, not because you're doing something wrong, but because receiving is a skill. And nobody ever taught you how to do it. So now we're learning, and together we're going to do it a way that feels real, grounded, and just a little bit bold. Because you're not here to keep pushing everything away. You're here to finally let something in. So here's where we turn the corner. Allowing is receiving. It's without shrinking, without deflecting, without apologizing for taking up space in your own life. And I want you to really feel that for a second, because allowing isn't passive. It's not just sitting back hoping something good happens. Allowing is a decision, a softening, a quiet but powerful. And it might sound like, I'm ready now. It's you loosening that tight grip that you've had on control and trust that maybe, just maybe, everything doesn't have to come through struggle. So let's talk about that. You've been so conditioned to believe that if it didn't cost you something like your time, energy, stress, overthinking, overdoing, then it somehow doesn't count. Like ease feels suspicious, like support feels uncomfortable, like goodness needs a backstory of, well, I worked really hard for this. And listen, I know you've worked hard. Nobody's taking that from you. But not everything is meant for you to be the main supporter and to wear you out before it reaches you. No, you don't have to earn everything the hard way. And let me say that again for the women all the way in the back who's carrying it all. You don't have to earn everything the hard way. Some things are allowed to come to you because of who you are, not just because of what you've done, because you've grown, you've healed, you've finally reached a place where you can hold it without pushing it away. And here's the truth, we don't always say this out loud. Sometimes the reason things haven't fully flowed yet, it's not because they're not meant for you. It's because that you haven't fully opened the door. You've cracked it. You've peeked through it. Maybe even reached your hand out a little bit. But allowing swings that door all the way open and says, yes, I'll take that. No apologizing, no over explaining, no shrinking yourself to make it more comfortable. Just a grounded, rooted, fully present yes. And I know that that can feel big. It can feel unfamiliar. It can even feel a little scary because receiving means things get to be different now. It means you don't have to stay in the cycle of overgiving just to feel worthy. It means you don't have to chase what's already trying to meet you halfway. It means you get to experience life with a little more ease. And beautiful soul, you are allowed to have that. So, what if today you stopped bracing for things to be hard and started allowing something to be simple, supportive, good? Because some things are meant to arrive, not when you're exhausted, not when you've proven yourself one more time, but when you're finally ready to say yes. And let's talk about it. Just you and me for 1 minute. Like no audience, no pressure, just you and me. And a little honesty in the room. I want you to check in with yourself, not in your head, in your body. What actually happens when someone compliments you? Not what you say, but how you feel. Do you soften? Do you smile and let it land? Or do you tense up just a little? Do your shoulders pull in? Do you feel the quick urge to brush it off, make a joke, change the subject, redirect it back to them? Like, oh, stop. You look amazing. You deflect like an expert, don't you? And listen, I'm not judging you. Far from it. I don't want you to shame yourself. Absolutely not. I want you to know as I see you. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that being fully seen felt a little exposed. So you got really good at sidestepping it. And I want to go just one layer deeper. When someone offers help, real, genuine help, what's your first instinct? Is it, thank you, I appreciate that? Or is it, oh, no, 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 I got it. I'm good. It's fine. Even when it's not fine, even when you're tired, even when your plate is so full, it's practically spilling over, you still reach for control instead of support. Why? Because being the one who has it handled became part of your identity. It feels safer to carry it all than to risk being seen in a moment where you might need something. Yeah, that's where we're going today. And here's the deeper one, the one that might make you pause for real. Do you actually believe that you are worthy of ease? No hustle, no proving, not earning your rest after you've completely worn yourself out. I'm talking about ease, the kind that doesn't come with a struggle story attached, the kind that just shows up. And if your first reaction is, well, that sounds nice, but there it is again, that hesitation, that conditioning, because you've been taught directly or indirectly that good things come after hard things, that rest is earned, that support is a luxury, that ease is rare. So when it shows up, you question it, you tighten up, you look for the catch. What if there isn't one? What if ease isn't something you have to chase, but something you have to allow? Because receiving, real, open, grounded receiving requires something most women were never taught. It requires self permission. And I want you to hear this in a different way today. No one is coming to hand you permission. No one is going to sit you down and say, okay, you've done enough now. You can relax. You can receive. You're worthy. No, that moment you created permission to be supported, not just when you're falling apart, but when you're doing okay. Permission to be seen, not the polished version, not the I've got it all together version, the real you version. And permission to have something good without attaching struggle to it, without saying, well, it's only because, or, oh, I don't want to get too excited, or let's see how long this lasts. And beautiful soul, that right there, that's you bracing instead of receiving. And I get it. I really do. Because if life has ever felt unpredictable, or if you've had moments where things didn't work out, or people didn't show up the way you needed them to, you learn to protect yourself. You learn to keep one foot on the floor. You learn to not fully lean in, and protection can turn into resistance real quick. And resistance will block the very thing your heart is asking for. And here's where I'm going to lovingly challenge you. If you don't practice receiving in the small moments, you will block the big ones without even realizing it. Not because you don't deserve them, but because your system doesn't know how to hold them yet. So it just pushes them away. Think about it. If you can't receive a compliment without deflecting it, how are you going to receive recognition in a bigger space? If you can't accept a small act of help, how are you going to receive real, consistent support in your life? If you can't let yourself feel a moment of ease, how are you going to hold a life that includes more of it? Yes, this is where it starts to click. Love, opportunities, peace, joy, they don't force their way in. They don't kick the door down and say, "Here I am, deal with it." They wait. They wait for an open door. They wait for a softened heart. They wait for a nervous system that says, "Okay, I can hold this." They wait for you to stop standing in the doorway saying, "I want this," while also quietly whispering, "But I'm not sure I can receive it." So maybe the question today isn't, why isn't it happening for me? Maybe the question is, am I truly open to receiving it when it does? And beautiful soul, that's not a judgment. That's an invitation to open the door just a little wider than you did yesterday. So I want to call this a little shift for you. What we're doing today, it's simple. And let's be honest, not always easy. Accept something fully. That's it. That's the assignment. Not 10 steps, not a whole life overhaul, just one moment where you choose differently. A compliment, help, an opportunity. And I want you to watch yourself when it shows up because it will. Maybe not in some big dramatic way, but in a small everyday moment where the old you would have brushed it off without even thinking. Someone says, "You look beautiful today." Someone offers, "Hey, I can take that off your plate." An opportunity comes in, and your first thought is, "Am I really ready for that?" That's your moment. That right there is where the shift happens. And instead of going into the usual pattern, no minimizing, no deflecting, no nervous little laugh to make it less uncomfortable, I want you to pause. Like really pause. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice what's happening in your body because you might feel a little flutter, a little tension, that urge to do something, to say something, to move past that moment quickly. And instead, you stay and let it be a little uncomfortable and let it be a little new. And then you say, "Thank you." That's it. No extra words, no explanation, no but, just thank you. And I want you to mean it, not just say it out of habit, but actually let yourself receive what's being given. Let it land, let it sit, let it be yours. Because here's what's really happening in that moment. You're rewiring something. You're teaching yourself that's how safe it is to receive. That is okay to be seen. This is what you don't have to push everything away and to stay in control. And yeah, it might feel small. Don't underestimate small shifts. And if they're done consistently, that's a game changer. Because today it's a compliment. Tomorrow, it's accepting help without guilt. Next week, it's saying yes to something bigger without talking yourself out of it. And before you know it, you're not the woman who deflects anymore. You're the woman who receives fully, openly, without apology. And let me tell you something, that kind of energy, it changes what shows up in your life. Because when you start receiving differently, life responds differently. So don't overthink this. Don't try to be or do it perfectly. Catch one moment today and choose to stay open instead of shutting it down. That's the shift. That's the soul shift. And it's more powerful than you think. So here is your gentle reminder as you move through your day. Receiving is not weakness. I know somewhere along the way, it might have felt like it was. Like if you needed something, accepted something, leaned on someone, it meant that you weren't strong. But let's rewrite that right here, right now. Receiving doesn't make you weak. It makes you open. And open, that's where life's actually gets to reach you. It's not selfish either. You're not taking something away from someone else by receiving. In fact, when you receive with grace, you give someone else the gift of giving. You let them show up. You let them contribute. You let them be part of your life in a real way. And let's clear this one thing too. Receiving is not something that you have to earn after you've completely run yourself into the ground. You don't have to be exhausted to be deserving. You don't have to prove your worth through struggle first. You get to receive because you're here, because you're human, because you're worthy right now as you are. And here's the deeper truth I want you to carry with you today. Receiving is a sign that you trust life enough to let it meet you halfway. Not control every outcome, not force every door open, not carry everything on your own shoulders, but to actually say, okay, I'll meet you here. That's powerful. Maybe today you soften just a little, not all at once, not in some big, overwhelming way, just a little. You open just a bit more than you did yesterday. You catch yourself before you deflect. You pause before you say, I'm fine. You breathe before you push something away. And you let one thing, just one, be received. Because that moment you stop resisting, that tight grip, that automatic no, that quiet pushback is the moment things start to flow. Not because life suddenly changed overnight, but because you did. You created space. And life, love, support, opportunity, they move toward space. So carry that with you today. You don't have to force the flow. You just have to stop blocking it. And to help you a little bit more today and through the week, here's an affirmation for you. I am open. I am ready. I receive with ease and gratitude. Say it, feel it, and maybe, just maybe, let it be true today. And that, my friend, is our episode on Receive Without Resistance. Thanks for tuning in, beautiful soul. Take this week to listen to the whispers and remember your soul knows the way. As you move through the week, carry this truth in your heart. You are worthy, you are radiant, and your presence matters. And never forget, stay soulful, stay sassy, stay you. I'll see you next Saturday, beautiful soul. Same time, same vibe, same glorious energy.